If you've been scrolling through endless listings, watching video after video, and still feel stuck between a cheap keyboard and a full-size stage piano, this review is going to help you cut through the noise. I've spent the last few weeks trying out a handful of 88-key digital pianos that promise concert-level feel, and I've talked to a bunch of gigging musicians and teachers to hear what actually matters when the lights go down. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Most of the hesitation I hear isn't about the number of voices or the sparkle of the display. Those are easy to compare on a spec sheet. The real worry is whether the instrument will hold up when you're moving it night after night, whether the key action will actually convince a piano player that they're not missing the acoustic feel, and whether the bundle you're buying adds any genuine convenience or just extra weight. The Roland RD08 Essentials bundle tries to answer those three questions in one package, and it does it in a way that feels more thoughtful than just another piano on a stand. When you look at the digital stage piano market, the biggest trade-off is usually between portability and realism. A truly portable unit often sacrifices weighted keys, while a heavyweight 88-key with hammer action can be a pain to transport. Roland's answer is the RD08, an 88-key instrument built around their PHA-4 hammer action mechanism, which is the same action you'll find on their higher-priced models, but squeezed into a chassis that's roughly half the depth of a traditional upright. The bundle includes a double-braced style stand and a piano-style sustain pedal, so you're not left hunting for accessories after the fact. In practice, that means you can set up on a rehearsal space, a small club, or a home studio and have a stable playing surface without having to buy a separate bench or a flimsy stand that might wobble when you dig into a forte passage. Who should consider the RD08? First, gigging pianists who need a reliable, road-ready instrument that still feels close enough to an acoustic piano to keep their technique honest. If you're a music teacher who wants a single instrument that can double as a demonstration piano in a classroom and a practice tool for students, the built-in bench makes the whole setup less intimidating for beginners. It also appeals to bedroom producers who want a full-size keyboard without sacrificing floor space. The compact depth means you can place it in a tight home studio corner and still have room for a laptop and audio interface. On the flip side, the RD08 isn't the best choice for someone who is looking for a high-end concert piano that will sit on a permanent stage and be used for recordings where every nuance of a grand's resonance matters. If you're a classical pianist who needs the full weight of a 102-key concert grand, the 88-key hammer action, while solid, will feel lighter than a true concert mechanism. Likewise, if you already own a sturdy, high-quality stand and a separate bench, you might end up paying for accessories you'll never use. In those cases, a more stripped-down model could give you a better price-to-feature ratio. The practical strengths of the RD08 become obvious the moment you sit down. The PHA-4 keys provide a tactile response that is surprisingly close to a real piano, especially when you play dynamic passages that require a delicate touch. Because the action is integrated into a relatively thin body, the instrument stays balanced and doesn't tip forward when you lean into the keys. The ZEN-Core sound engine delivers a piano voice that is both warm and articulate. It cuts through a mix of drums and synths without sounding thin, which is why I could replace a rented acoustic piano on a small club gig and still be heard in the back of the room. The bundled double brace stand holds up to aggressive playing, and the sustain pedal feels authentic, giving you that classic half-pedal control that many cheap digital pianos lack. No instrument is perfect, and the RD08 has a few quirks you'll notice once you move past the initial excitement. Because the body is so compact, the speaker system is modest. In a large venue, you'll likely need an external amp or PA system to get the volume you want. The control layout is streamlined, which is great for quick adjustments, but it also means you have to dig into menus for deeper tweaks, like layering sounds or accessing the full range of the ZEN-Core presets. Finally, the bundled bench, while convenient, is a basic pad that doesn't offer the ergonomic shaping of a dedicated piano bench. If you're spending hours practicing, you might eventually upgrade to something more supportive. Let me give you a concrete scenario. I took the RD08 to a coffee house gig where the stage was only 6 feet wide. I set it up on the included stand, plugged it into the venue's small PA, and ran a short set of solo arrangements. The audience could hear the piano clearly, and I didn't have to worry about the instrument shifting when I leaned into.